having a coach who believes in you almost more than you believe in yourself.
Yep.
Oh, I have found breakthroughs that happen at that point. That one of the reasons I'm going to be performing music in Austin in July is because there's a woman who has 30-some years experience in the music business who has found me, believes in me, and has been encouraging me. I would have put off the performing part for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. And how did you meet her?
She heard me speak in Austin. I spoke for a National Speakers Association private group of the NSA members who wanted to be authors. There were only 15 people in the room. Mm-hmm. And they said, Joe, we're not going to pay you, we're not going to feed you, and we're not going to let you sell any books. Would you come to me? I said, sure. Mm-hmm. And one of the women there was Megan, and Megan really sought me out. She said she'd been hearing about my music for 2 years. She wanted to meet me. Well, as it turns out, she's in the music business. Mm-hmm. She believes in me as a performing musician more than I believe in myself, which has raised my motivation and raised my confidence and also put me on the dotted line because I've signed to perform.
And it's such a good point, because if you had not ventured out and taken advantage of this speaking opportunity, you would not have met her. And I know in my boot camp that I used to run for 6 years, Full Force Fitness, I sold the business back in 2010 or so, but I saw that happen over and over again. First of all, the group. Everybody did better because of the group. They showed up. They had little wagers amongst themselves. Hey, if you're not here on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m., then, whatever, fill in the blank. So the group is very important. You mentioned the group at Austin's Fittest. So my advice to our viewer is you got to find people, whether it's a husband, a child, a teenager, a neighbor, a group. Get outside your comfort zone. Austin's Fittest is way outside of my comfort zone when I first did it. And I know getting up on stage and performing music for you is outside your comfort zone. So this is why exercise DVDs are okay, but you don't get that feedback, that you're getting within the group. Very important. Get in a group, and you're going to go much, much further with the results.
Yeah, you'll get more motivation out of it too, and you'll get immediate feedback. And so what we're looking at here is, how do you find motivation? And I think we have to be ruthlessly honest with ourselves about what do we want. Mm-hmm. What do we want? Do we want to be fitter? Do we want to be an accomplished author? Do we want to open a business? Do we want to, what is it that we want to do? I have actually found that most people lie to themselves, deceive themselves, and self-sabotage themselves.
Yes.
All because they don't want to take those first steps. Mm-hmm. All because they're afraid to say, you know what, I really do want to run a marathon, but they're so afraid of what it would take, or of failure, or even of success. There's all kinds of beliefs in all of this. Mm-hmm. And I think to find motivation, you have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to look in the mirror and you say, what is it do I really want to do? Mm-hmm. And we're afraid to answer it most often, because as soon as we answer it, we have to either do it or make excuses for not doing it. Mm-hmm. Either one of them are very healthy or very comfortable.
Right.
So I think that's a big tip right there, is what do you really want to do? What did you want to do as a kid? What's been the secret desire? I mean, I wanted to be a musician for most of my life. It was on my bucket list. So as I was nearing the age of 60, I said, all right, this is up next. Mm-hmm. And so I'm motivated to become a musician because I decided to. I admitted it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of what we want to do, is admit what we want.
Well, it makes me wonder, how many people have you worked with that wanted to be authors, or wanted to record music, or wanted to write ebooks, or create a membership site, that, once they created that product, how did they feel? They stuck with it. They went through all the motivation, and, how did they feel? I'm sure they were very grateful to you. Can you think of an example off the top of your head, maybe a story of a client who, paid the fee to have you help them? Maybe they drug their feet a little bit, but they ended up being able to create something that they're very proud of.
Yeah, I've helped lots of people become authors. At this point, well over 1,000 of them are now published authors. And one that I'm recalling right now is a woman that was a friend of Narissa's, my wife. Mm-hmm. And the woman wrote to me to say things like, can you really make money online? Can you really make money from selling information? And I would write back, yeah, of course, I'm doing it. And finally we met her, and I started to ask her questions like, what did she like to do in her life? What was her passions? What were her callings? And she had lost a bunch of weight, and I thought, well, that's good. Maybe you can write about that. But the other thing she did, which I found interesting, is she said she taught herself how to play the guitar in one weekend.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, like, wow. Like, how did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And she told me it was kind of like a bared down version of full chords and learn simple songs and all that. But she learned how to play guitar in 2 days. And I said, that's a product.
Mm-hmm.
That's a product.
Big time.
Yes, I mean, so many people are closet musicians and want to play guitar, and so me too at the time. And I encouraged her to write her book, and she was reluctant. She kept thinking, well, who's going to buy it? Who cares? There's lots of guitar books out there. Who am I to write a guitar book? And how do you write a guitar book? So I had to nudge her along, coach her along, encourage her, which is what you have done with me when you come down to train me in my own gym. So anyway, she writes her book. I tell her about ClickBank, which is an online service that you and I both know so well. And the short story is she started selling her book, started making money from her book, started paying off her debts because of the book. And a publisher came to her and offered her $10,000 and as an advance to republish the book. And this is all to a young woman who was already broke. I think she was a student at the time, so she didn't have lunch money. And she was able to, with somebody believing in her and with some pointers, get motivated to create her own book, sell her own book, make money from the book, and then stand there and be able to turn around and tell others, here's how you do it.
Yeah. And you knew right away that would be a hit product. You can tell.
You know, that was my own gut instinct. Also because I wanted to play guitar at the time. So how do you And her book is called Strip Down Guitar. Strip Down Guitar. In case anybody watching is curious, they can go search it. Strip Down Guitar.
Yeah, so she reached out to you. That's important. So if you're listening, watching this, you want to find an expert, and take them out to lunch. That's how I met you, right? I mean, I was leaving the gym. I grabbed a magazine off the magazine rack. I went to my car. I was driving home. I was at the red light. I opened up the magazine. I saw your article. At the bottom of your article, which I believe was, self-help or something like that, it said Joe Vitale lives in the beautiful hill country of Wimberley. I can almost remember it. And so when I got home, I immediately emailed you. So the viewers take action. Joe responded, obviously. We became fast friends. We've done so much together, and we have so much yet to do. Take action. It's hard to do all this by yourself. So if we're thinking of fitness, Bill Phillips, Jack LaLanne, find people that can light your fire and make you understand you were put on this earth to kick butt, okay? So you need a cheerleader, just like I am for Joe and like he was for me at Austin's Fittest. He helped me immensely. I couldn't have done it by myself. You got to find somebody, that you can go through your fitness goals, together. Find a group of people, and they're out there. I hear from them all the time. I know that they're out there. I get emails. I get people, at Little League baseball practice asking me. So they're all waiting for you, to reach out and contact them in your own community.
I agree. Facebook.
Where do we go from here,
Well, I want to mention real quick, Facebook. Everybody knows Facebook at this point. I think Facebook could be a gigantic waste of time. And so you have to monitor and be disciplined when you go in there. Yes. But I also know there's some great groups going on in there. Yeah. There was a group that a wife of a friend of mine joined. And this wife was not exercising but wanted to. She was not fit, wanted to get back into fitness. Didn't want to join a gym because she was out of shape and didn't want to go there and be embarrassed. And she needed to start someplace. And there was a Facebook group that I think it was called From Couch to 3K. From Couch to 3K.
I've heard of that.
And she joined it. And I thought it was brilliant because they say you start on day one on the couch. If you're on the couch, go ahead and stay there. But stretch your legs, stretch back your arms, deep breathe, awaken your body.
Pretty good way to start.
On day two, they might have said, now get off the couch and walk across the room. On day three, they might have said, okay, go out the door and walk 15 minutes one way and then turn around and walk 15 minutes back. The whole point is she found a support group.
Mm-hmm.
And my bigger point is somebody made that support group.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't find the support group you're looking for, you can make one.
Yes.
You can
Sure
make
can.
one, and you can find like-minded people, especially on places like Facebook, that would join the group. And then you have that group effect that can really keep everybody motivated, much like she did.
Yeah.
She actually did get off the sofa. She actually did run a race.
Wow.
I think it was a 3K. It might have been a 5K. I don't recall all of that. But she went from couch to running.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But she asked for help. She reached out and found her on Facebook.